Eli had always been a quiet person. Not the shy kind that hides in the shadows, but the thoughtful type who liked to observe life from a distance. He spent most of his days tinkering with gadgets and inventions in his small apartment in the middle of Neo-Lumina, a city that glittered like 1,000 stars in the night. Flying cars zoomed by, holographic signs shimmered in the air, and everywhere he looked, there was something futuristic and exciting. But Eli rarely noticed it. Today was different. Today, he had a problem. He was supposed to present his latest invention, a small device that could translate alien languages instantly, at the Interstellar Technology Expo in just 2 days. Normally, Eli loved showing his inventions, but the thought of doing it in front of a live audience, including alien visitors, made his stomach twist into uncomfortable knots. His hands shook slightly as he adjusted the small circuits on his device. A knock on his door startled him. He wasn't expecting anyone. Eli wiped his hands on his shirt and opened the door to find Lena, his neighbor from across the hall. Lena was everything Eli was not: confident, energetic, and effortlessly charming. Her hair glimmered with a faint silver sheen in the city's artificial sunlight, and her eyes sparkled with mischief. "Hey, Eli," she said, stepping inside without waiting for an invitation. "You look stressed. Is it that big presentation tomorrow?" Eli nodded. "In 2 days. And yes, I'm stressed. It's not that I can't present. It's just people." He waved his hands vaguely. "Humans, aliens, all of them, staring at me. I'll probably say something stupid." Lena laughed, a sound that was bright and warm. "Oh, Eli, you worry too much. You're a genius. You just need a little confidence." She tilted her head, her smirk playful. What if I helped you?" Eli blinked. "Help me? How?" "Simple." Lena took a step closer. "I could pretend to be your girlfriend. People will see you with someone confident and supportive, and they'll think you're capable, charming, presentable." Eli's mind went blank. Pretend, girlfriend. His heart thumped so loudly he thought she might hear it. I can't ask you to do that. That's ridiculous." Lena grinned wider. "Ridiculous, yes. Fun, maybe. But think about it. 1 kiss for show? A little hand-holding, maybe? That's it. Nothing serious. You'll look amazing. And hey, I like teasing you a little. Makes life interesting." Eli swallowed hard. 1 kiss? Yes. Lena stepped even closer, lowering her voice to a whisper. "But I warn you, 1 kiss won't be enough." Eli's face turned bright red. He opened his mouth to protest, but words failed him. Lena's eyes sparkled, clearly enjoying the effect she had on him. "All right," Eli finally said in a small, shaky voice. Maybe we can try it. Just practice. For the presentation. Nothing more." "Exactly," Lena said, still smirking. "Practice." And just like that, Eli's quiet life became a little more complicated. Over the next 2 days, Lena became a whirlwind of energy in Eli's carefully ordered world. She helped him pick clothes that made him look more confident, practiced casual conversations with him, and even gave him tips on posture and eye contact. It was awkward at first. Eli stumbled over his words constantly, and Lena couldn't stop laughing at him, but always gently, never cruelly. "You're too stiff," she said during one practice session. They sat on the rooftop of their building, overlooking Neo-Lumina's glowing skyline. Flying cars zoomed below and neon lights reflected in Eli's glasses. "Relax, Eli. Smile a little. Pretend you're talking to someone you like. Oh, wait, you're pretending I'm your girlfriend. That should help." Eli groaned. "Pretend." "Right." Lena leaned closer and nudged his shoulder. "Pretend can feel real if you want it to. Come on, just try smiling naturally." He tried. He really did. And for a moment, something shifted. He wasn't just smiling for practice. He was smiling because Lena was sitting there, teasing him in a way that made his heart race. That night, Eli stayed up late. Adjusting his device and thinking about the day, he realized that Lena's presence made him feel different, braver, somehow. Her teasing wasn't just annoying, it was energizing, and that whisper, "One kiss won't be enough," echoed in his mind. He wasn't sure what it meant, but he knew it had changed something. The next day, they took their practice to the city streets. Lena held his arm casually as they walked through a floating market filled with glowing fruits, robotic vendors, and alien tourists with skin that shimmered in impossible colors. Eli felt self-conscious at first, but Lena's easy confidence was contagious. She whispered tips to him as they passed crowds, and soon he noticed people actually paying attention to him in a way he had never experienced before. "See?" Lena said with a grin. "Confidence, that's all it takes. You're doing great." Eli laughed, feeling a strange mix of relief and embarrassment. "I think I am." Lena smirked again. "And remember, practice makes perfect. Don't forget the kiss, just for show." Eli's stomach did flips. "I won't. I mean, okay." By the time they returned home, Eli felt exhausted but strangely exhilarated. His shy, quiet world had opened just a crack, letting in laughter, teasing, and excitement he hadn't felt in years. Lena plopped onto the couch beside him, scrolling through Holo News on her wrist device. "You know," she said casually, "we might actually pull this off. You looking confident, me looking supportive. The audience won't know what hit them." Eli smiled weakly. "Yeah? Maybe." "And," Lena added, leaning closer, "remember my warning. One kiss won't be enough." Eli's heart raced again. He wasn't sure if he was thinking about the presentation or about Lena or both. Either way, he knew one thing. His life had just become a lot more interesting. By the time he went to bed that night, Eli felt a strange sense of anticipation. The idea of pretending to have a girlfriend had seemed absurd at first, but Lena made it fun. More than fun. It made him feel alive, confident, and maybe even excited. He drifted off to sleep with a small, hopeful smile, thinking of the next day, the next practice, and the mysterious sparkle in Lena's eyes that promised more than just pretense. One kiss might not be enough, and somehow he didn't mind at all. The morning sun barely touched the gleaming towers of Neolumina when Eli stepped out of his apartment, feeling the nervous flutter in his stomach again. Today was another practice day with Lena, and unlike the first day, he felt both eager and anxious. The thought of pretending to have a girlfriend still seemed strange, but now it also felt exciting. Lena was already waiting outside his building, leaning casually against a hovering scooter. She waved, her silver hair catching the morning light like a halo. "Ready for another adventure, Mr. Shy Genius?" she called out, grinning. Eli shuffled forward, adjusting his backpack nervously. I think so," he said. "But what if I mess up again? People will notice." Lena laughed and shook her head. "Then we'll just laugh along with them. Confidence isn't about never making mistakes. It's about making mistakes and looking like you meant to do it all along." Eli frowned, but allowed himself a small smile. Lena's energy was infectious, and somehow just being around her made him feel braver. Their first stop was the floating market, a bustling hub of neon lights, robotic stalls, and alien visitors. Holographic banners danced above them, advertising everything from zero-gravity desserts to AI pets. Eli tried to walk beside Lena without tripping over the edges of the levitating platforms. "Slow down, you're going to make me fall too," Lena teased, taking his arm lightly to steady herself. Eli's heart raced. He had barely touched her, but her presence was electric, almost like she carried the energy of the entire city in her. I'm fine," he stammered. "Sure," Lena said, arching an eyebrow. "But you're gripping my arm like it's a life support handle. Relax, Eli. Pretend this is normal. Pretend I'm just Your girlfriend. Eli froze. Right. Pretend. They moved through the market, stopping at a stall selling glowing fruits that changed colors when touched. Lena picked up a bright blue fruit and held it toward Eli. Try this, she said with a grin. It changes flavor depending on your mood. Eli hesitated, then took a cautious bite. His eyes widened. It tastes happy? Exactly! Lena clapped her hands. See? You're already charming. You don't even realize it. Eli laughed, the sound a little shaky but genuine. I'm not charming. I'm just eating fruit. Sure, Mr. Modest Genius, Lena said, nudging him playfully, but modesty is charming too. As they walked, Lena guided him in small ways, how to smile naturally, how to maintain eye contact, and how to speak with a calm, confident tone. Every tip was followed by a playful nudge or teasing comment that made Eli blush. He noticed that people in the market seemed to respond differently when Lena was with him. They smiled at him, made space for him in the crowded paths, and even a few aliens gave him polite nods of respect. See? Lena whispered as they paused near a stall selling floating toys. Humans and aliens alike are noticing you. Confidence isn't just about speaking. It's about presence, and you've got it. Eli looked at her, astonished. Presence? Me? Yes, you, Lena said, smirking. Just admit it. You're impressed by yourself now, aren't you? Eli laughed, feeling warmth in his chest. A little. They spent hours walking through the city, practicing conversations, pretending to hold hands at times, and laughing at the awkwardness of it all. Lena had a way of making even the most ordinary tasks, like crossing a crowded street or ordering from a robotic vendor, feel like part of an adventure. At one point, they stopped at a cafe that hovered above the city, giving them a breathtaking view of Neo Lumina's glowing skyline. Lena ordered 2 cups of steaming synth coffee, handing one to Eli with a teasing smile. Here's a tip, she said, leaning close. When you talk to someone, imagine you're telling a story to a friend, not a crowd. A friend makes things much easier. Eli nodded, taking a sip. The warmth of the coffee and Lena's proximity made his stomach flutter again. I think I can do that. You're already doing it, Lena said, her eyes twinkling. Now, try telling me about your invention as if I'm completely interested. Eli took a deep breath, imagining Lena as a curious friend rather than a nervous audience. Well, it's a device that translates alien languages instantly. Normally, communication between species is slow and error-prone, but this device can detect tone, context, and even cultural nuance. I've been working on it for months, and I think— You're amazing, Lena interrupted, laughing softly. You don't even realize how much this impresses people. Eli blushed, feeling both embarrassed and proud. Thanks. I'm just trying. You're doing more than trying, Lena said, nudging him gently. And you look confident doing it. See, one kiss might not be enough to celebrate that kind of talent. Eli froze. His mind went blank. One kiss? Again with that line? He wasn't sure if she was teasing or serious, but he couldn't deny the effect her words had on him. His heart raced, and he felt a strange warmth spreading through his chest. After the cafe, they continued their practice in the city's holographic garden. The flowers shimmered in midair, petals glowing softly, and small, floating butterflies of light danced around them. Lena encouraged Eli to relax and interact naturally with the environment, touching flowers, reacting to the butterflies, and even laughing at the tiny glowing animals that popped up from time to time. You see, Lena said, standing behind him as he carefully held a floating butterfly on his finger. Humans are amazing. We notice the small things, the beauty in everyday life. That's something no alien technology can copy. You've got that too. Eli looked at her, feeling a little breathless. I never thought about it like that. That's because you're usually buried in your inventions, Lena said, smiling. But today you're noticing the world, and you're noticing me. Admit it. Maybe, Eli stammered, laughing nervously. A little. Lena laughed, a soft musical sound that made Eli's stomach flutter. Good. That's all I wanted to hear. As the sun began to set, painting the city in shades of pink and purple, they walked back to their apartment building. Eli felt lighter than he had in weeks. Lena's playful guidance had turned something terrifying, the idea of pretending to have a girlfriend, into a fun and rewarding experience. I can't believe I'm saying this, Eli said as they reached the building's entrance. But I'm actually looking forward to the presentation. I knew you would, Lena said, stepping closer and brushing a stray hair from his forehead. And remember, practice isn't just about looking good, it's about feeling good. And you're feeling better already. Eli nodded, swallowing hard. He could feel the warmth in her presence again, the subtle thrill of her teasing, the echo of her favorite line. One kiss won't be enough. Lena grinned at him, leaning back slightly. Tomorrow we try the more public version. Walking through crowds, hand-holding, smiling at people like it's natural. You're going to be amazing, Eli. Trust me. Eli took a deep breath. He did trust her. Somehow, Lena made him believe in himself in a way no one else ever had. As they parted for the evening, Eli watched her walk away, her silver hair glowing under the city lights. His heart raced, his mind spun, and a small, hopeful smile spread across his face. Pretending to have a girlfriend had been the last thing he expected to do, but with Lena, it was turning out to be the best adventure of his life. One kiss might not be enough, and Eli was starting to think he didn't want it to be. The morning of the Interstellar Expo arrived faster than Eli had expected. The city of Neo Lumina buzzed with excitement. Hovering billboards displayed holographic messages welcoming inventors from across the galaxy, and the streets below shimmered with pedestrians of every imaginable species. Eli felt a familiar tightness in his chest. This was it, the moment he had been preparing for months. He looked at his invention one last time. The small device rested on a sleek display stand, its smooth surface gleaming under the soft lights of his apartment. Eli had tested it repeatedly, made sure every wire and sensor worked perfectly. Yet, the thought of presenting it in front of humans and aliens alike made his palms sweat. A soft knock interrupted his thoughts. Lena stepped into his apartment carrying her usual confident smile. She wore a simple yet stylish outfit that made her glow against the bright Neo Lumina skyline visible through the window. "Ready to steal the show, Mr. Genius?" she asked, setting down her bag. Eli tried to smile but felt the nerves tightening his throat. I hope so," he admitted. "You will," Lena said firmly, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "Remember, confidence isn't about pretending to be someone else. It's about letting everyone see how amazing you already are, and I'll be there, right by your side." Eli nodded, swallowing hard. He was grateful for her support, even if the thought of acting like he had a girlfriend in front of a crowd still made him uneasy. Lena's presence, however, gave him a strange comfort. The expo hall was massive. Panels of shimmering glass displayed inventions from hundreds of different species. Robots rolled along the polished floors, and alien creatures floated effortlessly, their movements graceful and mesmerizing. Eli's device stood on a table near the center, catching the attention of a few curious onlookers already. Lena linked her arm with his, just as they had practiced, and smiled up at him. "Remember our plan," she whispered. "Smile, stand tall, and talk like it's just you and me, not hundreds of people and aliens watching." Eli took a deep breath. "Right, just us." As they walked toward his table, several visitors glanced at them. Some were human, some were alien. A few whispered among themselves, clearly intrigued by the duo. Eli noticed something unexpected. He felt a strange confidence rising inside him. Not the forced kind from practice, but genuine belief in himself. Lena leaned closer, speaking softly in his ear. "See? You're already capturing attention. People notice when someone is confident. And you're brilliant." Eli felt his cheeks warm. "Thanks, Lena. I don't think I'd be able to do this without you." She smirked, teasing yet encouraging. "That's the whole point. One kiss won't be enough, remember?" Eli tried not to think about it as he set up his device. He focused on the audience now forming around him. A group of aliens with translucent skin and glowing eyes floated forward, curious about his invention. Eli explained the device calmly, as Lena had advised, imagining she was the only one listening. "To communicate with different species," he began, "we need to understand not just their words, but their tone, intent, and culture. This device analyzes those factors instantly, translating meaning accurately. It can be used in trade, diplomacy, education, and even exploration." Lena stood beside him, nodding and smiling at the crowd. Her presence made him feel grounded, as if they were just two friends sharing something wonderful, rather than performing in front of an audience. A small alien child floated close, its translucent hands reaching toward the device. Eli smiled and gently guided its hands back to a safe distance. "Would you like to see it in action?" he asked. The child nodded eagerly. Eli activated the device, and a soft glow emanated from its center. Words appeared in holographic text, translating the child's alien language into perfect English. The audience murmured in amazement. Eli felt a thrill of pride. He was doing it. He was sharing his creation with the world, and it worked perfectly. Suddenly, a hiccup in the device caused a brief glitch. The holographic text flickered, and Eli froze. Panic rose in his chest. He could feel the crowd noticing, whispering. His palms became clammy. "Relax," Lena whispered, gently nudging him. "Smile, keep talking, you've got this." Eli nodded, taking a deep breath. "Right, just us." He steadied his hands and adjusted the device quickly. Lena's reassuring presence beside him gave him courage. The device resumed its flawless operation, and Eli continued explaining, even more confidently than before. The crowd responded with applause and cheerful murmurs. Some of the alien dignitaries even nodded in approval. Eli's heart soared. He had faced the first real challenge, and he had succeeded. Lena winked at him. "See? Told you. One kiss might not be enough for celebrating this victory either." Eli laughed, feeling a mixture of relief and happiness. He realized something important. Lena hadn't just been helping him look confident. She had been helping him believe in himself. After the initial demonstration, Eli and Lena moved through the expo, mingling with visitors and answering questions. Lena's easy charm drew people in, while Eli explained the technology clearly and enthusiastically. They worked like a team. People noticed not just the invention, but the pair itself. Their friendly banter, laughter, and supportive gestures made the presentation feel natural and warm. At one point, an alien scholar asked Eli a complicated question about cultural context in translation. Eli hesitated for a moment, then recalled Lena's advice. "Speak as if it's just a conversation between friends." He answered confidently, weaving a story about how he tested the device with small experiments, including playful interactions with neighbors, which was a thinly veiled nod to Lena. The alien scholar tilted their glowing head, impressed. "Your approach is human, creative, and adaptive. Most impressive." Eli felt a swell of pride. He looked at Lena, who gave him a small, approving nod. The silent encouragement meant more to him than any applause. As the day went on, Eli grew more comfortable. He noticed something else, too. The more he trusted Lena, the more natural everything felt. The hand-holding, the small touches, the teasing comments, all of it became easy, almost second nature. People around them weren't watching a show, they were witnessing a genuine partnership. During a brief break, they sat on a hovering bench overlooking the city. The sun was low, painting the skyline in shades of orange and pink. Eli took a deep breath, feeling a mixture of exhaustion and exhilaration. "You were amazing today," Lena said softly. "I'm proud of you." Eli felt a rush of warmth. "I couldn't have done it without you." She smiled and leaned closer. "Good thing you didn't have to. That's what partners are for." Her tone was playful, but her eyes held something deeper. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, watching the hover cars streak past, the floating gardens glimmering, and the people of the city moving like a living mosaic below them. It felt peaceful, almost magical. Eli's thoughts wandered back to Lena's favorite line, the one she said so often. "One kiss won't be enough." Today he understood it wasn't just teasing anymore. Their teamwork, trust, and shared laughter had created something more, something real, something worth more than just practice. Lena nudged him gently. "Come on, we've still got one last demo. Let's show them the device in full action." Eli nodded, straightening his posture. Together they returned to the table, prepared to finish the day with another demonstration. He activated the device, and this time, it flawlessly translated a series of complex alien dialogues in real time. The audience cheered, some clapping, some floating higher in excitement. Eli grinned, his confidence solidifying with every passing second. When the day finally ended, Eli and Lena walked back through the city streets, tired but happy. The lights of neolumina reflected in the water channels below, and the city felt alive in a way that matched Eli's own excitement. "You did it," Lena said, linking her arm with his. "You were confident, clear, and brilliant. And, bonus, you made me look good too." Eli laughed, shaking his head. "We make a good team, don't we?" "The best," Lena said, her smirk softening into a genuine smile. "And don't forget, one kiss won't be enough." Eli felt a warm flutter in his chest. He didn't need the kiss to know that Lena's presence had changed him forever. Today he had faced a challenge that once seemed impossible, and he had succeeded. Together they were unstoppable. As they parted for the evening, Eli watched Lena disappear into the neon-lit streets, his heart full of hope and excitement. One kiss might not be enough, she had said, but he knew that whatever came next, he was ready for it. And for the first time in his life, he felt truly alive. The morning after the expo, Neolumina seemed unusually quiet. The floating vehicles hummed softly through the streets, and the neon lights glimmered like tiny stars on every building. Eli woke up feeling a strange mixture of excitement and nervousness. Yesterday had been incredible. He had shared his invention with humans and aliens alike, and it had worked flawlessly. But what lingered in his mind wasn't the applause or the recognition. It was Lena. He remembered how she had been by his side, confident and playful, supporting him in ways no one else could. The way she had whispered encouragement, nudged him when he faltered, and smiled with genuine warmth. His heart beat faster at the thought. Eli quickly got dressed and decided to check on Lena. She was his neighbor, after all, but after yesterday he felt an urge to spend more time with her. He knocked lightly on her door. "Come in!" Lena's cheerful voice called from the other side. She opened the door, still wearing her hair slightly messy from sleep but radiant as ever. "Hi," Eli said, feeling slightly awkward. I thought maybe we could talk?" Lena smiled, leaning against the doorframe. "Talk? About what?" "About yesterday and everything," Eli admitted. He shifted nervously. I wanted to thank you. Not just for helping me look confident, but well, for being there. You made it easier. Lena's expression softened. She stepped closer. Eli, I didn't just help you for the expo. I enjoyed being with you, spending time together, laughing, teasing. It's been fun, and I think I like it. Maybe more than I expected. Eli's heart skipped a beat. You like it? He repeated, voice barely above a whisper. Yes, Lena said, her silver hair catching the morning light. And I like you too. You're kind, smart, thoughtful, and a little awkward. But that's part of the charm. Eli felt warmth spread through his chest. He had expected their relationship to be just practice, a way to boost his confidence for the expo. But hearing Lena admit that she genuinely liked him changed everything. I like you too, he admitted, a shy smile spreading across his face. I didn't expect this. Lena grinned, teasingly. Didn't expect me to be irresistible? Eli laughed, a little nervously. Maybe. Good answer, Lena said, nudging him gently. But we don't have to rush anything. Let's just enjoy today. Maybe take a walk, see the city, have some fun. Deal? Eli nodded eagerly. Deal. They decided to visit the city's holographic garden, a place Eli had never fully explored before. Giant floating flowers shimmered in shades of blue, purple, and gold. Holographic butterflies danced through the air, leaving trails of light behind them. Neolumina's skyline reflected in the calm pools of water scattered throughout the garden, creating a breathtaking scene. This place is amazing, Eli said, gazing around. I never realized how beautiful it could be. It's one of my favorite spots, Lena said, taking his hand lightly. You notice things differently when someone shows them to you. Eli felt a flutter in his chest at her words. Holding her hand felt natural, comforting, and thrilling all at once. He was surprised by how easy it felt to be close to her, to talk freely without worrying about embarrassment or awkwardness. They walked through the garden, talking about everything from inventions to their favorite foods. Lena asked Eli about his childhood, his dreams, and even his fears. Eli found himself opening up in ways he never had before. And as he spoke, Lena listened with genuine interest, occasionally teasing him in that playful way that made his heart race. At one point, a holographic fox darted past them, glowing with neon light. Lena laughed, chasing it playfully. Eli joined in, running after the fox, their laughter echoing through the garden. For a moment, they were just two friends having fun, completely free from the pressures of the expo or pretending to be a couple. But then, as they paused to catch their breath, Lena turned to him, her expression softening. Eli, can I be honest? Of course, he said, his heart beating faster. I didn't just enjoy yesterday because it was fun. I enjoyed it because I got to be close to you, and I realized that I like spending time with you. A lot. More than I expected. Eli felt his chest tighten. I feel the same way. I never thought pretending to have a girlfriend would make me realize how much I like someone, but you're amazing, Lena. Lena smiled, reaching up to gently brush a strand of hair from his forehead. Eli, you're blushing. Maybe a little, he admitted, laughing softly. You know what this means, right? Lena said, teasing, leaning closer. One kiss isn't enough. Eli's heart raced. He had heard that line countless times before, but now it felt different. It wasn't just playful teasing anymore. It carried weight, meaning, and possibility. He took a deep breath, gathering courage. Maybe it's time we find out, he said softly. Lena's eyes sparkled. Finally, she whispered, her voice gentle. And then, slowly, they leaned toward each other. Their first kiss was soft, tentative, and full of nervous excitement. Eli's heart pounded in his chest, and he felt a warmth spread through his entire body. Lena's hand rested lightly on his shoulder, steadying him, and he realized that this moment, this kiss, was different from anything he had experienced. It wasn't just about pretending anymore. It was real. When they pulled back, they laughed softly, both a little breathless. "See?" Lena said, teasing. "One kiss wasn't enough." Eli nodded, smiling. "Yeah, I can see that now." They spent the rest of the afternoon exploring the city together. They visited the floating markets again, tried exotic foods, and even joined a group of children in playing a holographic game that projected stars and planets around them. Eli felt a sense of joy he had never experienced before, an exhilarating mix of friendship, trust, and budding romance. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange, Lena took Eli to a quiet rooftop overlooking the city. The neon lights reflected off the glass towers, creating a sparkling sea of color. "Eli," Lena said softly, her hand finding his again, "I'm really glad we did this. All of it. Pretending, practicing, and everything in between." "Me too," Eli said, squeezing her hand gently. "I never expected this to happen, but I'm happy it did." They stood in comfortable silence for a moment, watching the city come alive with evening lights. Eli realized that Lena had changed his world in more ways than one. She had given him confidence, laughter, and something he never thought he would find, someone who truly understood him. Finally, Lena leaned closer and whispered, "Eli, one kiss isn't enough, but maybe we can start figuring out how many are enough together." Eli laughed softly, feeling his heart swell. "I think I'd like that." They watched the city for a while longer, holding hands, talking quietly, and laughing softly at small things. For Eli, the world felt brighter, more alive, and full of possibility. He knew that the days ahead would be filled with more adventures, discoveries, and perhaps even more kisses, but for now, he was content. Because with Lena by his side, everything felt possible. And for the first time, Eli realized that pretending had led him to something real, something meaningful, and something worth cherishing. One kiss might not be enough, but together, they were ready to find out just how much was possible. The next morning, Neo Lumina awoke under a soft golden light. The city's floating vehicles moved gracefully through the sky, reflecting the rising sun, and the streets below shimmered with activity. Eli woke up feeling a strange, happy anticipation. Yesterday had been incredible. The expo had been a success, and he and Lena had shared their first real kiss. But today felt different. Today wasn't about exhibitions, practice, or pretending. It was about them, about exploring what they had discovered in each other, about seeing where their feelings might lead. Eli dressed carefully, choosing simple clothes that made him feel confident but still himself. He walked to Lena's apartment, excitement mixing with nervous energy. He knocked lightly, and the door opened almost immediately. Lena stood there, radiant as ever, her silver hair catching the morning light. "Good morning, Eli," she said softly, smiling. "Ready for a real adventure today?" I think so," Eli admitted, feeling his cheeks warm. "Where are we going?" "You'll see," Lena said, stepping aside. "But it'll be fun, promise." Eli followed her out into the city. They walked through Neolumina's streets hand in hand, the morning sun warming their faces. For Eli, this simple act, holding Lena's hand, felt like the most natural, wonderful thing in the world. He couldn't remember ever feeling this comfortable or happy. Lena led him to the city's observation deck, a place he had never been before. From there, the entire city spread out like a living mosaic. Neon lights reflected off the towers, and the air shimmered with movement as hovercars zipped by, leaving trails of light behind them. "This is beautiful," Eli whispered, gazing out over the city. I've never seen it like this." "Sometimes," Lena said softly, taking his other hand, "it's not about the view, but about who you're seeing it with." Eli turned to look at her. Her eyes sparkled, and her usual playful smirk softened into something genuine and tender. His heart raced, and he realized that the moment had come. He didn't just want to be with her in pretense or practice. He wanted this now, for real. "Lena," he said quietly, I really like you. More than I expected, more than I thought I could. And I don't want to pretend anymore. I want to be with you. For real." Lena's eyes widened slightly, then softened. "Eli, I've been hoping you'd say that, because I feel the same way. I like you. Really like you." For a moment, the city seemed to fade around them. There was only the two of them, standing together, hands intertwined, hearts beating in sync. Eli felt a warmth spread through his body, a mixture of excitement, relief, and joy. "Then," Lena whispered, leaning closer, "maybe it's time for another kiss." Eli laughed softly, a little nervously, but nodded. "Yes, another kiss. And this time, for real." Slowly, carefully, they leaned toward each other. Their lips met in a tender, gentle kiss, filled with the weight of everything they had shared, the teasing, the practice, the support, and the growing feelings that had taken root in their hearts. Eli felt the warmth of Lena's presence, the softness of her touch, and the steady rhythm of her heartbeat against his own. When they pulled back, both were smiling, a little breathless and full of happiness. "See?" Lena said, her voice playful but soft. "One kiss wasn't enough, and now it's even better." Eli laughed, feeling a surge of joy. "Yeah, I can see that now. I think I could get used to this." They spent the morning exploring the city, hand in hand, talking and laughing freely. They visited a floating park filled with glowing flowers and singing holographic birds, raced each other through the city streets on small hoverboards, and even stopped at a market where Lena insisted they try some glowing fruit that changed flavors with every bite. Eli found himself smiling constantly, amazed at how easily fun and joy seemed to follow Lena wherever she went. At one point, they sat on the edge of a floating garden, dangling their legs over the side and watching the city below. Eli turned to Lena. "You know, I never thought pretending to have a girlfriend would lead to this." Lena laughed softly. "Neither did I, but sometimes the best things happen when you least expect them." Eli nodded. "You've changed me, Lena. You've made me braver, happier, and I'm grateful for every moment we've spent together." Lena's smile softened, and she leaned her head gently on his shoulder. "You've changed me too, Eli. You've reminded me how much fun life can be and how important it is to trust someone. And I think we're just getting started." The sun began to set, casting long, golden shadows across the city. Eli and Lena watched in quiet wonder as the neon lights flickered on, reflecting off the floating buildings and canals below. The world seemed to sparkle just for them, a perfect mix of magic, technology, and human wonder. I want to make this official," Eli said suddenly, turning to face her. "Not pretending anymore. I want us to be together, really together." Lena's eyes lit up. "Eli, I was hoping you'd say that." She reached up and brushed a strand of hair from his face. "Because I feel the same. I want this too. Us. For real." With that, they leaned toward each other again. This time the kiss was longer, more certain, and filled with all the emotions they had kept hidden until now: excitement, relief, trust, and growing love. Eli felt a rush of happiness unlike anything he had ever known. Every worry, every doubt melted away. For the first time, he felt completely safe, completely alive, and completely himself. When they finally pulled apart, they laughed softly, heads close together, breathing in sync. Lena whispered, "See? Told you. One kiss is never enough." I don't think I'll ever get tired of it," Eli said, his voice warm. "Or of you." Lena smiled, a genuine, tender smile that made his heart swell. "Good, because I don't plan on letting you." They spent the evening wandering through the glowing streets, sharing more kisses, laughing at silly holographic street performances, and enjoying the simple joy of being together. Eli felt a sense of happiness he had never experienced before. The city, with all its lights, sounds, and wonders, felt even brighter with Lena by his side. As night fell, they found themselves on a quiet rooftop, overlooking the city's neon-lit skyline. The floating cars traced arcs of light below them, and the stars above shimmered faintly through the city's atmosphere. Eli took a deep breath, turning to Lena. I think this is just the beginning. There's so much we can do together. Adventures, inventions, exploring the universe, everything. And I want you with me for all of it." Lena's eyes sparkled, reflecting the city lights. "I can't think of anything I'd rather do," she said softly. They leaned close again, sharing another tender kiss, one filled with promise, warmth, and joy. Eli felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude, grateful for Lena, for the city, for the journey that had started with a playful promise and led to something real. "Eli," Lena whispered as they pulled back slightly, "you're amazing. Not just for your inventions, but for who you are. And I'm lucky to be with you." Eli smiled, holding her hand tightly. "And I'm lucky to have you. I can't imagine life without you now." They sat together, watching the city glow beneath them, sharing quiet moments, laughter, and gentle touches. Eli knew that the world was full of challenges and adventures, but with Lena by his side, he felt ready for anything. The playful teasing, the stolen moments, the laughter, and the kisses, they all marked the beginning of something extraordinary. One kiss wasn't enough, two weren't enough, and Eli knew deep down that the number didn't matter. What mattered was the connection they shared, the trust they had built, and the joy they found in each other's presence. As the night deepened, the city's neon lights mirrored the stars above. Eli leaned back, feeling Lena's hand in his, and whispered softly, "Here's to everything ahead, and to us." Lena squeezed his hand, smiling warmly. "Here's to us." And with that, they shared another gentle, lingering kiss, sealing the promise of a real, shared adventure, one full of laughter, warmth, and endless possibilities. Together, they faced a future that was bright, exciting, and completely their own. Because sometimes, life's greatest adventures begin with a playful promise, a supportive friend, and a single, unforgettable kiss.